My bad. You caught me at an inopportune time. I'm just enjoying this lovely sandwich here. Mmm. Oh, this sandwichy goodness. It's just so good. So good. Mm.
You are a horrible person. Horrible.
So
Absolutely despicable.
not to give away too much of the whole um, exposing what goes into the sausages kind of bit. But Max and I usually have a little bit of a conversation before the show goes live. And literally before we went on, he goes, "So do you have your book ready?" And I'm like, "Nope, I have something even better for today's." And I do not think he was expecting that one at all.
I was not. I was not.
I told Keys I was going to do it, and she's like, "You have to." Oh, it's too good.
You are despicable, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, we are live. Just do a
Mm-hmm.
couple quick shares here. I think that I'm going to share it.
Okay.
And say that Jeff is despicable.
I'm despicables.
You keep freezing. You okay over there, bud?
I'm freezing?
Yeah, it froze up a little bit.
Weird. No, I mean, I'm not having any issues with my computer that I can tell. Hopefully it's not.
Let me look at the stream. Maybe it's just my computer.
Okay.
No, it's probably just my computer. The stream looks like you're not freezing. So
okay, that's good. That's good. Hooray for that.
Yeah. I wonder if I have like some setting shit.
Well, you were doing some of your audio settings. I'm not sure if that's throwing off just. It shouldn't have anything with your visual, but it could be trying to just catch up to it.
Maybe.
But hello, everybody's. Welcome to All the Mess with Max and Jeff, where I put things in front of my face and Max has technical issues.
That's kind of our show there, man.
Yeah,
It's kind of our show.
That's how it's been playing for the last few weeks.
Right. Oh, Lena, thanks for stopping in, though.
Thanks for the quick drop by.
Also, I posted our Discord link on there if anyone does want to join us on Discord.
Yes.
Yep. So episode 12, going for 12 weeks now.
Yeah. I went and got my head all fancy shaved today, and I was telling my barber about, he's like, "Hey, what do you got planned for today?" And I was like, "Oh, I got my show. We got the show going on today. We're going to be talking about this and this and this." And I said, "Yeah, we're getting ready to do 12 months in." I mean, not 12 months, 12 weeks in. I'm like, I can't believe that it's already been 3 months since our first show. And I said,
Yeah.
I remember one of our first talks before we even did it. I said, okay, I'm going to give it a month. And if it just doesn't feel like our thing, pack it in. But it has been 3 months in and I'm loving it.
You too. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I think that we have an interesting dynamic and it's basically what we do.
Yeah, he was telling me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been considering wanting to do a show," and she had a spitballing ideas, and one of his was, he was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing a political base show with just him and this guy that they," and I told him straight away, I'm like, I couldn't do it. I could not do I said, there's 3 things I never talk about on the show. It's 1 is religion, 2 is politics, and the 3rd is far conspiracy theories, just because as much as I enjoy them, I am not educated about them enough to come out onto a public forum and say, "Oh yeah, this is what I totally think of it." Yeah, all of it.
That's what I think.
Flush it all down. Yeah.
I don't think that I mean, we've had this conversation before about politics and religion. You're about the only one I can actually talk to about that, even though we don't see eye to eye.
Right.
We kind of go, "Oh, I can see your stance on that." Okay.
Right. And kind of, how I've talked to him about those kind of things is I will discuss those kind of things with people I feel comfortable about, even if we disagree. And still go, and still just say, um, but I'm not going to put myself out there publicly. One, because I don't want to drive away potential viewers who might say, I'm not going to watch this.
Lena, you are never chopped liver ever. We adore you, and well, Jeff doesn't know you yet, but he's going to
Right.
adore you like everyone else
From what
does.
I've heard, very much adore from what I've been hearing.
Lena's a good time. She's a great time. I love her. Her and her husband are great people. I mean, Lena's another one that I could talk to about thoughts and beliefs and things like that. And she has no judgment whatsoever, which is great, but it's just kind of hard. Some people get really uptight or protective. I'll say protective. Protective is better. About their belief systems, whether it be political or religious.
Right.
And it's just not a lot of people agree, and it's a really touchy subject, especially for the last, well, I don't know, like 5 years. At least it's gotten worse.
He raised a good reason on why he wouldn't, and that's because he wouldn't want to say something political. And with him being a barber, some potential client says,
Yep.
"Oh, I'm not going into his work. He believes blah blah blah." And for me, I'm like, that's the problem. Is it doesn't matter, because if you do good work, I know that he does good work. I've been going to him for over a year now, and he could tell me, the next day that he thinks that the moon's made out of cheese. I'm not going to stop going to, his place of business and have him do my hair because he believes something that seems like that crazy. It's just like, okay, feel free to have that belief. You want to shave my head now?
Hold on.
Okay.
You don't think the moon is made out of cheese?
No, I do not. I know. I'm on the weird side of it.
That is absurd, sir. Speaking of absurdities, oh my God, stop crying. You're such a baby. Oh God. So yeah, that's why we don't talk about that stuff. Right. However, what we do talk about
is even more absurd.
I got to put a banner up for this. Hold on.
Yep. Let's see the banner for it.
All right. Let's have that going. Hot dogs, sandwiches, or nah? How many pages of research did you write, Jeff?
Only one. Only one for the hot dog one. now, how much time did I research? About 10, 15 minutes.
Look, I keep telling myself, okay, I'm going to actually get like citations and I'm going to go like super educated with this. And then I forgot.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty long day, to be honest with you.
I mean, my biggest thing was, do I do my bit with the hot dog or not?
Oh, I'm glad that was the easiest thing you had, or the hardest thing you had to do today, Jeff. Where's my camera? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is stupid. I got to work today, and if anyone has been listening to us talk about work whenever we do, so we have some hot water issues. Yes, there will be a replay. You can check it out on All the Mess with Max and Jeff on our Facebook, or you can check it out on our YouTube page, All the Mess with Max and Jeff. We're pretty funny, or at least I think so. I'll actually post it here in the comments for anyone that does want to re-watch or... There we go.
Yep.
Or catch up, or if you missed anything. So I'm going to show that there. Hopefully one day we'll have enough subscribers where it won't be a whole bunch of like numbers and letters after there.
Yeah, it'll actually say our name.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and good thing that we decided not to call ourselves UCO53A4QV. It would have just been...
That's a catchy
name.
So
much easier than All the Mess with Max and Jeff, right?
Oh my God. We could just be the UCOs.
Yeah.
Why not? That'd make it sound way more important than we actually are. So yeah, we've been having some hot water issues when it comes to the hot water. We've been fighting it for a little bit now, and we're used to coming into work and they're being like, "This room doesn't have hot water," and then 20 minutes later it does, periodically, sporadically.
Random
And today,
rooms makes no sense.
yep,
Out of it. Yeah.
today I came in. They're like, "Hey, 66 doesn't have any cold water," and I went, "What?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, by the way, 68 doesn't either," and I went,
It's weird that they're right next to each other.
"Are y'all punking me right now? Do you know what like?" How much of a coincidence that would have to be that both rooms side by side, sharing a wall, don't have any cold water
And only hot.
and only hot.
Yeah.
So I walked in there and sinks ran cold, showers did not.
Okay.
So then I went to go get the part I needed, which is the pressure balancer, and we didn't have any. I couldn't find any. So I was like, okay. So I had to make a run into town to get those. And then that first one, 68, I was working on first, literally took me like probably an hour and 20 minutes.
To get the balancer correct, would it not fit
Yeah,
right?
it just did not want to go in.
I've had a room like that, yeah, to where it's taken me. And what's worse is whenever you know, like, okay, that could be a 20-minute job. Pop it out, pop it in. Everything runs. It's now blowing out like running the cold water, cold, hot, and it mixes in between perfectly. Yeah, I hate whenever it's, oh, I did a room like that 3 days ago. It took me 20 minutes to do. The next one I go in and it takes me, like you said, an hour and a half to do just because things won't line in as they should.
Yep.
And
I
it's
mean,
off
it
by
literally,
like the slightest amount. Just
yep.
that didn't pop in just exactly right.
And usually, like, the hardest thing about that whole job is putting that cover back over the shutoff valves.
Yep.
That's the hardest
Yep.
part for me. I don't know why. It's just the hardest part, that plastic cover. But yeah, I mean, I had people like texting me, "Hey, can you get to this? Hey, can you look at this? Hey, can you do this?" And I was like, "I'm having a bad day right now. I'm fighting with this shower and it's giving me attitude." So Stephanie was like, "Give it attitude back." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm lucky there's not any guests in this room for my colorful language."
Yeah. Yeah.
I called that shower everything under the sun. Everything. So
I can believe it. I've been in those boots before with those kind of showers.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Are just ridiculous.
But yeah, so I've just had a little bit of a hectic day. I didn't get everything I wanted done, but it's always tomorrow. It's gonna be fine.
Let the anger fuel your non-sandwich part of the debate.
Yeah, I wish that we had somebody that could come on and like be the deliberator.
Moderator.
Yeah. So, all right, Jeff, I guess we'll take turns.
Okay. Is this going to be more of a you go, then I go, and then we'll call it good, or more of a deliberation back forth?
I think that we'll do like maybe a minute and a half deliberation, like
Okay.
going back and forth. So,
Yeah.
like, you'll raise a point, I'll raise a point, try to deconstruct your point.
Okay.
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 And then maybe we'll go out for hot dogs afterwards.
Yes, I would enjoy a good sandwich.
Fuck off. All right, Jeff, go ahead. You have the floor. Tell us, hot dogs, sandwiches, or nah?
Hot dogs are 100% a sandwich, according to the USDA. That's right, our own government's Department of Agriculture that says this is a food. This is not a food. This is what kind of food it is. I don't know why the people with the Uber Eats commercials can't figure out. All they have to do is look at USDA and they'll tell you exactly what a food is and what a food isn't. But according to the USDA, they define a sandwich as it is a filling between bread, bun, or a biscuit. So that would include this lovely hot dog that goes bread, filler, bread. That's the exact definition of what the USDA gives us. And by that simple definition alone, it is categorized as a sandwich.
Is that your first point?
That is my first point.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So what you're telling me, Jeff, is that a sandwich is classified as bread, filler, and bread. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correct?
By the USA definition, this bun is considered as part of it, yes.
So a pie then, would that be a sandwich? It has a croissant-like crust, a filling, and a bottom crust. Would that also be a sandwich? Are we just going to randomly start calling things that aren't sandwiches sandwiches now? You have the USDA on your side, but I have the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. That's right, the National, can't even say it with a straight face, the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. And the president of that council, Mr. Eric Mittenhall, said he's been asked this question daily for the past 5 to 6 years, and his answer is always the same. A hot dog is not a sandwich. You got another point there, buddy?
Plenty. You say his name was Dave Mittenhall?
Eric Mittenhall.
Sounds like a Dave to me.
His name's Eric. You're going to question if his name is Dave now?
Yes, because if he can't even tell you that a hot dog is a sandwich, I doubt he could tell me what his actual name is. So let me understand you with the pie thing and why you consider it not. You consider it not is because it is not in between two pieces of bread. It is not in what you consider the traditional bread filler bread. If that's the case, then we can no longer consider a meatball sub a sandwich because it's not on two pieces of bread. We can no longer consider a Philly cheesesteak a sandwich. We cannot consider any submarine a sandwich. Now, if you don't, then please tell me what you would consider these things. Do you consider them a snack? Do you consider them a dessert? Are they now a cookie and a cake? No, they're a sandwich. Are they pasta? Do they have noodles in them now that we don't? Magic noodles? No.
Hey, wait, there are some subs that have noodles in them.
Again, I'm not debating the fact of it is. And if it does, that means that it is a noodle-based sandwich. Because it fills in the gap of filler, bread filler, and that's what we need.
So in that understanding, would a calzone then be a sandwich?
It does not.
What's a calzone?
It does not fall into bread, bun, or biscuit. Much in the way that the pie. If it's a bread, then it's not a pie. It's a crust. Crust does not fall under the bread, bun, biscuit. Pizza dough does not fall under the bread, bun, biscuit. That is why it doesn't.
Pizza dough literally makes a crust that is from
bread.
Crust.
Basically. Crust, not bread, not bun, not biscuit, crust.
Does your girlfriend cut the crust off your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches then because you're so against crust?
No. I eat the crust on my piece of bread. I don't just eat crust.
Okay. So what would you consider a wrap?
A non-conformal sandwich.
A non-conformal sandwich.
Yes. So I while doing my research, there came this great. Do you know how they turn everything into a D&D kind of neutral mapping? Chaotic good, chaotic evil. What's a sandwich? What's not a sandwich? It was the BLT falls under classic sandwich, and then
one of my favorites.
And then and then they go with the next one down being unconventional. So your subs, your hot dogs, your choco tacos, an ice cream sandwich, an ice cream sandwich.
Oh, okay.
So ice cream sandwich, non-version of it, and then the final one being things that are wrapped that fall under a bread-like material covering around it. It would be considered an unconventional sandwich.
So you're telling me that a sandwich is an umbrella term?
Yes.
Because everyone in America has to have an umbrella term followed by 15 different subcategories to classify what they're eating.
It
What
helps.
about a sausage roll?
What would you classify it? That's the. I'm saying that it is sandwich. I'm saying it's pro sandwich. I'm not going to fight against every other kind of thing. I'm saying in my support, it is a hot dog is a sandwich based on the criteria of a sandwich. As I'm not saying this is now sandwich, this isn't sandwich. Where does this fall in the sandwich category?
I'm going to say that it's not. I think that things that I've mentioned, such as calzones, sausage rolls, hell, even a pie, are designated their own thing and don't fall under a sandwich category. If the president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, which I'll never be able to say right ever, says that it's its own thing, that it's not a sandwich or anything other, it's just a hot dog. He also challenges anyone who believes that a hot dog is a sandwich to go up to a hot dog cart in New York and ask them for a sandwich and see what crazy looks you get.
Is that what you were ending it with?
Yep.
You have a guy from a can you please repeat this name one more time? I just love hearing you say it.
Eric Mittenthal is the president of the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council.
National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. So a non-government agency that's just a fan group. Got you. So he believes that. So he believes that it's not a sandwich, and he doesn't like to follow government regulation. I bet he jaywalks too. I hope he gets hit by the car
Oh man!
for not properly following the rules of law.
Not because he
Now,
doesn't think a hot dog is a sandwich.
now the last thing your big concern, whenever I've been saying this, is based on the categorizing of it. This is this thing, this is this thing. I believe that no food is an island unto itself. That every food, when you break it down, belongs to a wider category of things. Yes, things can be uniquely individual, but they fall into a wider group. I'm going to give you the best example of this, for my opinion. When it's cold outside, I enjoy nothing more than having a nice soup. Cold
You
weather
are a
is
super
totally soup season. I do love my soups. You enjoy your soups as well. Now, you like to have a Manhattan clam chowder, do you not?
Yeah, I make a really good clam
You
chowder,
do
actually.
make a great clam chowder. I enjoy
With
myself
vegetables and clams.
I enjoy myself more of a New England clam chowder, going with more of the white traditional chowder for it. And sometimes I'm enjoying a really nice bisque instead. A good lobster bisque is just there's something delightful about it when it's like, like cold out and you're just like, I want something hearty. It feels for me.
Yeah.
Now, as you would notice, I did not say I like a really nice New England clam chowder soup or a lobster bisque soup. I said I like a lobster bisque and a clam chowder. But yet, without me saying soup at the end of it, that those are both soups. So why can hot dog, this lovely thing,
Put your fucking hot dog
made in
away.
the way, covered in bread, not be considered a sandwich, unique in and of itself, but we don't consider a chowder unique in of itself, but instead part of the soup family.
Um, I actually don't consider chowder soups. There's chowders, there's soups, and there's chilies. They all just happen to be liquid esque meals.
And I would say I consider a chowder to be a style of soup.
Oh, so now we're gonna fight on soups.
We is that going to be our next one? What we consider soups and not?
So, what would you classify a hamburger then? When you look
um,
at the menu, you go out to a restaurant, you sit down, you open up the menu, you got your appetizers, your main courses, your
your
sandwiches,
and
and
your
then you have your
hamburgers.
burgers.
Um, I would consider that a cooked meat sandwich. If we're breaking it down that way, it follows in the same realm of pulled pork sandwiches and barbecue beef sandwiches, like a sloppy Joe. We consider a sloppy Joe a sandwich, but if you really think about it, it's just ground up. hamburger done into a sloppier form. It's still hamburger.
All right, Jeff. Oh my goodness.
I enjoyed this actually.
Yeah.
I don't think I will ever get over the National Council of Hot Dogs and Sausages with good old Eric Dave Mittenhall.
One day he's gonna watch this and he's gonna be like,
did that guy just say he hopes that I get hit by a car while jaywalking?
That too. That too. Oh my god. Now, honestly, do you think that a hot dog is a sandwich? Like, for real?
Oh yes. I've always considered a hot dog to be under the sandwich category. Kind of now. Before I looked at that chart of what how they would categorize a sandwich as a BLT being the most pure form, and then the hot dog being further down on that chain of box squares where it sits as a true neutral. Of here's a meat filler covered by bread. By definition, that sandwich, compared to a wrap, as you say. But I've always considered a hot dog to be a sandwich.
You learn something new about your friends every day, guys.
Yeah.
You just.
I didn't know that. I was surprised that you took the pie calzone route.
I had to do something, man. Like
I got the USDA on my side. You were like, dang it, he did it. He went to the highest form that decides everything, and got him decided.
While I think that it's in the sandwich family, I don't classify it itself as a sandwich. I just think that it's in the sandwich family because of bread and bun, bread and
meat. Well, again,
right.
I thought I was waiting. Two of the points I didn't even go with was the whole, and I did use this plenty of times. The use of the word filler instead of the use of the word meat, because if you're like, oh, it doesn't fall with lunch meat, then we could easily go with, oh, then grilled cheeses, peanut butter, and jellies are no longer sandwiches either because none of them have meat.
I can see that. Man. From the quick research that I've done, like there's just all these people like, I guess it could be a sandwich, but a hot dog's just a hot dog.
Right. I mean,
like 25 of those.
Popular opinion by most people is to consider it if somebody says, hey, that's a sandwich, they won't fight on it typically. But right. If they were going to categorize it, they wouldn't give it any category. They would say it sits alone on its own.
Right. Well, that was it was the great sandwich debate.
Y'all tell us I hope I possibly converted at least one, maybe two people into thinking of their hot dog something more than just a hot dog.
You have changed somebody's life, Jeff. Now they're sitting there with their head in their hands going, my whole life has been a lie.
Yeah. Or they're sitting there staring at a hot dog saying, or they just saw me eating that hot dog and being like, I really wish I had a hot dog right now.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wish I had a hot dog right now. And I don't even eat hot dogs. Yeah, I'm not a huge hot dog fan. Have to be in the right mood for them, and they have to be cooked right.
I usually about once a week grab one from Walmart from the deli, just like this one I had today. They sell the Nathan's ones out of their deli, and I just like how they cook them up, and they have them nice wrapped, and they're not too pricey for what it is, honestly.
I mean, Nathan sells good hot dogs. I mean, when I was younger, the only hot dogs I could have were all beef hot dogs because I was allergic to a preservative that they put in the concoction.
Right. So yours was more like Nathan's or like Hebrew National?
Yeah. I couldn't have the pork mixture ones.
Right.
I couldn't
have like an all beef Frank.
Yep. And I couldn't have bologna unless it was all beef. And I couldn't even eat lunch meat ham or even fresh ham. Well, I mean, I guess the fresh ham wasn't too bad because of like it was actually all natural and cured right. They didn't use that,
but they still add some kind of additive in order to make it like last longer than you would say like a normal like country ham.
Oh yeah, my friend Heather will tell you that people used to threaten me that they'll give me a ham and onion sandwich because they knew I was deathly allergic to both of those.
No.
I hope she hops on and hears that and says something. Funny story about that though. I'm at Chili's with my mother-in-law and my wife and her aunt, and we're sitting there. And I asked, I think I got a salad that day. I don't really remember. And I was eating it, and all of a sudden I went crunch, and like even like when I'm crunching it, going, "What is that?" Like my neck is swelling and I'm breaking out and like starting to itch a whole lot because it had onions in it, even though I asked for no onions. And my
Mhm.
mother-in-law literally told me to steal second because I was like, or to flop on the ground so we could get our meal for free. She was 100% kidding. She was trying to be funny.
Right.
However, I was like, really?
In that
Really?
situation, that's your two focuses. Come
Yeah.
on.
So Jeff, did you do your homework?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, got all plenty of notes on homework stuffs.
So the next topic that we're going to talk on is one of my favorites because I love scary movies. It's going to be about the Scream franchise, which is literally one of my favorite franchises in the horror film. I have a thing for guys in white masks, apparently.
um, I'm not much of a huge movie buff person, especially compared to somebody like Max. My sister was really the one who, even though she's younger than me, she was all about them. And now and then she could convince me to, she would rent one on DVD whenever we go to the movie store. And you might want to change that banner. Just typos.
Scram.
Yeah. I would like to know what the movie Scram's about.
It's a good movie.
And so Scream was one of them that I actually did watch that I did enjoy. I didn't keep up with the franchise as much as most, but I've seen most of the movies and did my research and watched the newest one today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I have plenty of notes on it. Now, do you know if they're for Scream Six? Just curious. Are they working? Is there a working title for Scream Six, or is it still so early in production they don't have one?
Right now, it's still pretty early in production. Um, just last week, I think. What the heck?
There we go.
Okay. Just
Um,
last week, they were finalizing characters, and that's when we found out
on the Nev
that Nev
Campbell.
Campbell, aka Sidney Prescott, would not be a part of Scream 6.
So they did something in the fifth one, and they're not the first movie to do this, but it is getting kind of an annoyance to me, calling the new movie by the same name as the original movie.
Yep, there's been a
It's
lot
just
of horror
called
movies that have
it's
done that.
just called Scream. There's a bunch of new horror movies that have been doing the same thing, and while I get it, they're like, "Oh, this is a way to make a reboot of the whole thing," or play into that. I don't like it. Please say what movie number we're on, so that way I'm not watching this one, or if I'm not looking at like, oh, what's on the cover, which version I'm watching this of.
Okay, I can understand that. I mean, they did the same thing with Halloween. It was Halloween 2018, Scream 2022. Um, hell, even Evil Dead did that, but that was more of a reboot. I think that they're trying to do that so they don't discount the originals
Mm-hmm.
as done with and over. They're
Right.
trying to bring the new audience into that whole franchise and make them want to go back and find out, well, why is this lady outside the hospital screaming at people? I don't know what's going on.
Right. Right. Now, one of the things that a part of me liked it, and another part of me didn't. There's a character in the show called Wes, and that's a direct shout out to the original director who is no longer with us, Wes Craven. And they're like, hey, and I was just like, I don't mind a little bit of tongue in cheek with something like that, naming a character, especially one that kind of plays a pivotal role in that movie,
Wes.
as just like, yep, he's Wes, and we all know why, and you're gonna have to accept it. And I'm like, um,
And but Wes is a popular name.
it is. So there, I like Tara, one of the characters in it. I liked the actress in it. It's played by Jenna Ortega. If you don't know who she is, if you ever watch Jane the Virgin, she plays as the young Jane when they do flashbacks. And then I'm a Disney guy. I enjoy Disney shows. She was one of the main characters on a Disney show called Stuck in the Middle, which I really liked her character on that. So seeing her play something in a more adult role was kind of I know who she is, and I like how she plays it. Um, I have this funny note here that I'm not going to try to give away spoilers here, but I just have this funny note because I'm reading over my notes that I wrote, and I really have a note that says, "Damn, Billy was getting busy."
Okay.
Followed by my second note that says, "My second movie with David Arquette this year. Wasn't expecting that to happen."
Oh man, you get off David Arquette, man. He's a good actor.
No. Here's the thing. I love David Arquette, and I hate that I don't see him in more things. I watched "You Can't Kill David Arquette" earlier this year. This great documentary where he's talking about getting back into wrestling and how he felt like he kind of was a big part of the industry with WCW falling when it fell, and him putting a lot of tarnish onto the championship belt whenever they gave it to him as a promotion thing, and him trying to essentially um, I wouldn't necessarily call it like repentance, but to make his name not look so bad. And so him doing that, it like gave me a really great picture of David. But I've always liked David, so I was like, oh, that's I'm glad to see him in more than one movie this year. Um, so not to slightly deviate, but you had mentioned, and we will talk about this a little bit more. Nev Campbell's not going to be in the sixth film.
Yep.
Do you know when she showed up in the fifth film? At what point in the movie?
Yeah.
Her first appearance happens 35 minutes into the movie.
Yep.
They take over. If this is a less than 2 hour movie, she doesn't show up until after the first quarter of it. And then the next time that she shows up is after an hour and 8 minutes.
Well, you had to know why they did that.
Right. I know why they did that. But here's the thing. And don't get me wrong, Nev's great. She plays a great Sydney, but I feel like this fifth movie shows exactly why they're not trying to give her that big money payday on six, because consider how much she showed up in the fifth movie. Her screen time appearance was very, very small. Why pay her a big amount of money for making a small cameo appearance?
So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Because this is something that's near and dear to me. Have you ever watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original?
Yes.
Do you remember the girl that survives?
I know who she is. I remember her in the movie. Don't know. I can't think of who it is.
So it's Sally Hardesty.
Okay.
Hardesty. She is like the lone survivor of all of the mass killings, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many Texas Chainsaw? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Stop. How many Texas Chainsaw Massacres have there been? You don't have to give me an exact number. It's a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure somewhere in the realm of 5 to 6, maybe more, with the redos that they did in the early 2000s.
I mean, you have 1974, 2001. You have the one with Matthew McConaughey, which is still weird.
Right.
2022. Out of all of those, she was in the original,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was in the very last one.
Okay.
Why? Because she is a beacon. She started it. She's going to end it.
End it. Okay.
Just like how many people got pissed off when Nancy died. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean,
and okay. So you know how they did the thing. I'm trying to think here. What movie? Okay, so whenever Garfield said he wasn't in the Spider-Man movie,
yeah,
and then he ended up being in it, and that was a huge surprise for the people. So there's a line in Scream 5, and I thought about this whenever they were talking about the Scream 6 and Nev not involved. In Scream 5, there's this scene where they're talking about Stab 8. And they're,
yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, Sydney was in all the Stab movies except for the last one. Wink, wink. So I was like, oh, are they playing it into that they keep on making all these Stab references like they do in Scream 5 and in Scream 3 of
and
all
two
and
and
right.
one and
Well,
four.
they didn't do it in one because the first Stab movie is based on the events that happened in the first movie.
If I remember correctly,
Stab 1 is a big part of Scream 2.
yes, but they reference. I think it's Gail Weathers that's, or not Gail Weathers. One of the characters said this would be a great movie. Basically, I'm paraphrasing.
Right, right.
So it's referenced, just
It's
like Gail's
reference.
book, just like
Right, right. Exactly. But if let's say this Scream 6 is the last one, for them to go back and again parallel the whole movie thing where they say, oh yeah, she Sydney was in all of them except for the last one. So play
I
into
mean,
that.
I can see it both ways. I really can. Um, I think if this has anything to do with Sydney, that she should be in it. Uh, it would be like I'm trying to think of a relevant counter argument here because it's like just take something that's been going on for so long
Right.
and replace the one person that it was about. It wasn't that she was just in the story. It was about her.
That comes a little bit into my Scream 6 notes whenever I wrote a little bit more on that. And we'll get that after my feelings on 5. Um th- so there's this scene, I'm not sure if you remember it, where the sheriff pulls like um her son comes in and she doesn't know that her son comes in, so she grabs the biggest, the biggest fuck off knife in the whole wooden block.
Yeah.
In every single movie that I've seen where it has that, every kitchen has a wooden block with this, hey, don't mess with me, this is the largest knife I have block. I have
Okay.
been in very few homes where that's typically the case. I'll tell you right now, that's not the case at my house.
I'll be back.
He's gonna go show me what I'm sure. He's probably going to be bringing in his wood block. So we get to go look at knives now. Yay! I'm just kind of looking over my notes because I'm trying to remember. Well, it is. While you were gone, I was telling the audience that, yep, I bet you he's gonna come show us our wood block.
However, mine is missing right now because it's dirty in the washer.
Right, and
It's in
that's
the
the other
dishwasher.
part. It's always conveniently like right there, and I'm like, nope, it's always in your dishwasher, or that's the one that got broken, or that's the one that got used 27 times because you used it to cut everything. And now you're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
and now you're trying to use your paring knife as your big cut knife.
that is true. That is 100% true. However, if you've met my roommate, which I know you have, when
Yeah.
he moved into this house, he literally had 6 of these.
That's so weird. I mean, maybe it's just one of those things. I'm not used to going into people's houses and seeing those in their kitchen area.
Well, no, because you go into their kitchen, you open up their refrigerator, and you steal their ham.
Yeah, but guess what else I'm looking out for? Are they going to try to stab me for stealing their ham? That's kind
Okay,
of
Jim.
important.
Kind of important.
Here's the ham. Are they going to stab me for it? Do they have the utensil to do it close enough?
I mean, you think about it.
It makes sense in the horror movie to have that convenient, like, oh, look at my big knife. I can do it too.
I would just be like, bread knife
Yep.
from the sandwiches.
So there's this thing that it made me laugh whenever they said it because I was like, yeah, because this has been working so well in your guys' franchise. So we get this scene between Sid and Gail, Nev and Courtney.
There you go.
And they're having this talk, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go kill this. We're gonna go kill this ghost face, and then that will stop all of it." And and after I do it, I'm not gonna write some book about it. We're not gonna discuss it. We're not going to, make a movie about it. And my first thought on that was, yeah, why are they this dumb to think, hey, if we killed this ghost face, no more ghost face is going to appear? Because all this media already is there. The movies are already out there. What makes them think if they stop this one, like, yeah, because, oh, we're not watching the fifth Scream movie, you killing the other killers in the other four ones, that really stopped everything. So glad that worked.
I think it was meant to be as a heroine moment, a heroic moment. Um, because
I mean,
if
I got idea behind it of kill the killer and they can't keep killing people. But just the way that they made it sound was just like, yeah, if we kill this one, there's not going to be any more ghost face killers for them to come out of the woodwork. And it's like, yeah, there's already 8 stab movies. People are already going to be influenced by this. So it's
yeah,
not like you're
but
stopping any of that.
well, if and I told you not to watch the fourth one because it was pointless, and that's my opinion. Y'all can hate on me for it.
Okay.
So first one, you have Billy Loomis. Okay, he got pissed off. Her
And
mom was
Stu.
screwing his dad. Broke up. Well, I mean, he was just there by accessory because he was an idiot. Um,
Okay, I'm
love
gonna get
Matthew
to a point
Lillard,
about
by
that
the way.
in my I'm gonna get to a point about that in my notes for next movie. But go ahead. Because they do make
So
the
you
whole
have
thing of like of in Scream 5, they do make this whole big point about, oh, it's Billy Loomis, and like on multiple occasions they're like, yeah, and Stu.
yeah, yeah. The
Be-
accomplice never gets all of the credit because he
right,
didn't have a motive. He didn't have a real
right,
motive.
right,
He was just being a dumb kid with his friend.
right.
But you have Billy Loomis. He was pissed off. His dad was screwing Sid's mom, caused his mom to leave, their marriage to crumble. So she blames her for everything. Right? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Then you have for Scream 2, you have Billy Loomis's mom.
Mom, right.
You
Who
killed my son.
who blames Sydney? You killed my son.
Right.
And
But she
your mom's a home wrecker, so you deserve pain on her name.
yeah. But in the first one, like she eventually got to a point where I'm trying to like someone's trying to kill me, let me kill them.
Yes.
Same with number 2, like, oh, this is happening to me again. But it wasn't until the end of the movie where she's like, I need to stop this, right?
Right. Right.
The third one
Well,
turns
and
out,
again,
and I'm sorry if you guys haven't seen this. This is spoiler hour, but it's
sorry to jump over on that one. On the second one, there was a second killer as well, where it
yeah,
was
the
her
film
boyfriend.
student.
Right, right. Who thought he was trying? So again, another stupid accomplice.
Yeah, he was in it for the fame.
Right,
That's all he wanted.
right.
He had no real
I
motive.
saw how famous Billy's name got off of this. I want the same for me.
Right, especially since he's a movie buff.
Right,
Then you have Scream 3, who threw everyone for a loop, in my opinion. That was her brother,
right.
who thought that that was going to come out of the woodwork. And
It's
especially be the director
well
of
again.
Stab 3?
It is explained in the rules.
Yes.
There's always the hint of who the killer is going to be if you just listen to those freaking rules.
Oh, 100%, 100%. That's why you can tell when you watch Bones that the guy who got murdered and they're trying to figure out who murdered the guy, it's always the first person they talk to. We get it. We
Right.
get it.
Well,
But
like
then
in 5, it's, hey, this rule and blah 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 and this rule. Well, that's exactly who it was. Listen to the rules.
yeah. But what I loved about Scream 5 is one, they knew that they drastically flopped on Scream 4.
Yes, they knew it hard.
Yep, and
There,
they said it.
there's a reason why there was 10 years between Scream 4 and Scream 5.
Well, I mean, at that point, what are they going to do? Have Sydney's aunt come after her? Have Billy
Right,
Loomis's aunt?
right.
You know? Um. So I mean, they flopped hard and they knew it. However, I do absolutely love Emma Roberts, who played Jill in the Scream franchise.
Okay.
Absolutely love her. Um, she's great. I do think she's great. But it didn't flow. And then 5, they came back and they're like, we're reinventing this. It's a new age. We're going to show people that it's no longer getting a call on your home phone with no caller ID. Even though I'm
Mm.
pretty sure either Sarah Michelle Gellar's character or Drew Barrymore's character did have caller ID at the time.
Um,
Can't remember
yes,
which one.
but it says unknown caller.
Yeah.
Just like the landline that says unknown caller whenever they're answering at other parts in the movie, where it
Or
says
Sydney
unknown.
when she has caller ID and they're like, "What's your favorite scary movie?" You don't
Right,
know who this is, and they're like, "Oh, it's blah 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 at 555 5555."
right.
Uh, but let's dive. We got about 10 minutes left, so let's dive into Scream 6. Where do you think the franchise is going with it?
Okay, so this is. I'm going to throw in some spoilers, but it's what I'm going with for it.
Okay,
So, the first one is, in my thought, if we're going to continue down this path, it's Sam and Tara's mom. Samantha and Tara Carpenter, their mom. Based on these
okay,
things, one, not again to spoil some things. Sam is the daughter of Billy Loomis, so we have her mom who's still in love with Billy after all these years. That and here's how they'll play it into the movie. Um, for years since the post the first movie, she's been the real person who spread or motivate into these other killers' ears to kill Sid so she can keep her hands clean. And she's doing that because of Sid killed the one guy that I loved, being Billy. Billy was the only guy who really ever understood me. And it's a chance, and I'm basing this off of this kind of a far fetched theory that they could put into the sixth movie. Billy is the one who, while he's doing the killings, working with Stu, is actually telling their mom about him being a killer and him actually doing it. And that she's been the one holding the secret of, I knew about all these killings while they were happening because Billy was coming to me about it. And
okay.
then you went and killed him. And also, this plays into the Nev Campbell and the very beginning of it. We don't have Nev on on there. Her mom finally at this last point of saying, I've taken how many killers and convinced how many people to try to kill Sydney, and these people can't do it. I'm gonna have to do it. So at the very beginning, off screen, right, kills her. And the next thing that we see Gail Weathers doing a news report saying Sidney Prescott, with all these kind of things, giving the history of the Woodsboro Ghostface killer, has been killed today. Investigations ongoing. So we don't have to worry about Sydney being in there. She's dead off screen, and we play into that.
People would really have to not respect Wes Craven to do that, and I'll tell you why. The
Go
whole
ahead.
thing with Nev Campbell with the Scream franchise is she made a deal with Craven that she would never fall victim to
To
Ghostface.
Ghostface. Right.
They
Well,
would have
okay.
to really not respect him.
Okay, so if how about they treat it this way, to where Sam Sam and Tara's mom does it while not as Ghostface, just kills her, and then afterwards plays as Ghostface.
I mean, that would still be Ghostface. She turns into Ghostface.
Well, and that's what I was going to go to in my other note. Now, the second person who I thought, because they always do it with a team of two, and it's because again I had just mentioned this, Stu Macher's sister.
Okay.
She's mentioned in Scream 5. Her son Vince just got killed. Two of the killers now, i.e., the killer from 5 and the killer from 1, both out of the same house. So you can say, oh, it's this house causes people to act, and this irrational horror movies, these kind of things warp my mind kind of thing. And his sister being like, yeah, it did the same to me. Now, and then secondly, as you said, her brother's just considered the dumb accomplice. And that's how he's viewed. She could be upset that for all these years, the focus on the first Ghostface has always been Billy, 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 with her brother essentially being forgotten. And
Okay.
she's upset about that. And then her son gets killed by Ghostface, and now she's saying you allowed him to. All this group of friends that you said had, you allowed him to get killed, and so now I'm coming after the ones who survived because you didn't do more to help keep. If you lived, why didn't you do more to help keep my son alive?
Okay.
You made it through. And then I went even as far as this: if Sam and Tara's mom was dating Billy, had a kid with Billy, that means that there's a slim chance, maybe a 4 to 5 year chance, that Stu Macher's sister was about the same age as her mom. And that for all these years, they have been keeping kind of as a close knit buddy system, pulling strings behind Woodsboro because neither one of them have left Woodsboro all these years and have been the pulling strings this entire time. And they are the new Billy and Stu.
Okay. All right. Actually, that was pretty intelligent. Not that you're not an intelligent guy, so don't take
No,
it
no,
like
no.
that. However, Stumacher's sister is older.
Okay, so um,
Just to throw that out there.
but like how many years older? Again, I'm saying like here's the thing: if she's like 8 years older, then okay, yeah, she might not know her. But let's say she's like 3 years older and she was close with Stu, right?
So she
And
was born
Stu's
in
being
78,
okay,
which would put her at 40, 44 this year,
okay,
where he would have been, let's see, he was 18 back in, what was it, 1990.
eight
Hold
ninety
on.
nine.
I want to say it was 8, but I want to make sure. 96, actually.
Oh,
So he
okay,
was probably 17 in 96,
right.
which she already had Vince at that point.
Well, if she was born in what time? So,
78.
right, so 78, 88, 98. That makes her only maybe 2 years older.
2 to 3. Okay, I'll give you that.
So
I'll give
yeah,
you that.
she could have been close with Stu. Finds out, this stuff with Billy because according to somebody else in that, Tara and Sam's mom's a drunk who goes and talks to anybody around town.
Okay. Cammy, to
That
answer your question, there was no answer. Um,
that's the great thing
hot
with the
dogs are,
debate.
could be in the sandwich family. I want to know the same thing. I say no, definitely not. Tacos are tacos.
Again, they do not fulfill the bread bun biscuit rule that the USDA has designated on what makes a
But if
sandwich a
wraps are
sandwich.
sandwiches, flour tortillas.
So an unconventional.
I guess so. I guess so. We have just a few minutes left, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you my
Yeah. Okay.
idea.
So who do you think?
Well, I originally, before the press conference of Dev Campbell not going to be in Scream 6,
Mm-hmm.
my idea was to have Sydney be the killer.
The new killer based on what?
Based on she has actually orchestrated this whole thing from the beginning. She had such mommy and daddy issues. She's the
Mm,
one that fed the information to Billy, like he didn't know it was her. Fed the information, haha, my mom's screwing your dad.
right.
Okay. Then after Billy's mom died, or after he died and his mom came,
Right.
she's the one that was sending the news clippings of Billy being a mass murdering fuckhead, which pissed her off, right?
Right.
Then her brother. You're telling me for years now you've known about her and you're just now trying to kill her? No. She fed you that information too. She pissed you off and you didn't know it was her and you came after her for fame or whatever. Then 4, well, we can kind of leave 4 out of it. Your niece kind of, or your cousin, whatever she was, got all mad. It's an unwitch, Jamie says. Yes. Um, that one kind of surprised on you, but still more fame under your name. You're the lone survivor of everything. I mean, that's why she had to get rid of her friends.
Yeah.
So then 5 happens. I think she was a lady in a diner who fed some information to somebody who got really passionate about new age horror, and it started all over again, which is why she showed up 35 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
And that's why Dewey had to die. Dewey found out.
Do you think Dewey found out?
I think Dewey found out.
Hmm.
So, Scream 6, Gail finds out,
Gotcha.
and Sydney tries to kill everyone. Now, my alternate idea was that, and Dalen from Heldington actually helped me with that and his followers, so shout out to them. But Gail being the murderer, Gail becoming
I
Ghostface.
I've considered that as a her not being original Ghostface, but her having covered the story so many times and feeling like the anytime that she ever got attention is when it became about Ghostface. And I thought that one was part of the third one, honestly, that she would have been revealed as the one to do it because again, the movies are now getting the attention, not the news that she had wrote. This is getting the attention, not her.
No, I think that she was behind it from the beginning, to be honest with you. She was a starving investigative reporter looking for her big break.
I could
She
and so
happens upon the Cotton Weary story,
mhm,
right?
right.
Where Sydney's mom is dead now. So she starts feeding these information because she had to dive into the story to be so concerned about Cotton.
Right.
So she feeds in all of this information. People start getting pissed off and start trying to murder everyone. After a year or so, her fame has died down a little bit. She's not getting as many roles as she thought she was going to. She provokes the next person, and then the next one. And then Dewey again finds out, and he had to die.
Um, I feel like that works okay if you don't include the fifth one. Because by that time, she's now a bigger name in the bigger network with doing something in New York than she was at any point through the other three
Or is that a
or
cover?
four. It'd be a hard cover to say, hey, my name's now out there and popular. I have to keep coming back to this now.
After you've killed so many people, does it matter if your name's popular anymore? Or do you just love doing it?
Yeah, I get
Think
what you
about
mean
it.
by that. I get what you
Think
mean by
about it.
that.
Like they attacked Billy Loomis's child.
Yeah,
It had to revolve around them somehow. So,
right.
you know, hey, look at this angle, you know?
Yeah,
Oh Jesus. My
it's
dogs
not
are
bad.
destroying stuff.
I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
a bad angle to take it with. So my last note, and again, so we've discussed this a little bit because your whole thing is, oh, it could be Sydney until, of course, the Nev thing, and I would
I mean,
say it
it's
could
still
be
good. It could all be a ploy.
right. So let's say it's a ploy, and it could be that, or we play it up as, hey, it could be Gail, or it could be, like I said, the mom or Stumacher's sister, some or some kind of cooperation between one or more of those mix. All of them, which was I would say are good ones to go with. Would you agree with me? While yes, Nev is considered the franchise female star, the real star of this whole entire franchise is Ghostface.
No.
No, the
Mm-mm.
whole thing to me is always about Ghostface. Figuring out who Ghostface is. Who's the
Well,
killer
yeah,
this
it's
time?
about figuring out who Ghostface is because he keeps trying to kill the same girl, or they keep trying to kill the same girl, or she keeps trying to kill the same girl. Whatever. I think that Nev Campbell is the star of Scream, the whole franchise. I mean, they made 8 make believe movies about her, several books. I
Well, seven make believe movies because the eighth one she wasn't in, and that was why everybody was upset because it went in a different direction.
Yeah, and it flopped. They said,
Yeah, yeah, which you definitely know is a direct reference to four.
yeah, yeah.
That
I
was the other
mean,
thing. That was the other thing I kept reading through these, and I was like, man, they're really going like nostalgia heavy. Like, how many more references upon references upon references can you make back to one? And I get it, but it just felt almost
It's bringing the
boresome.
new horror fame or the new horror fan into the past, letting them
Right,
appreciate what was so great about those movies. I mean, I remember sitting in the theater for Scream 2 and kicking over my popcorn and my drink. My cousin was
right.
pretty pissed actually. Um, but I mean that's what's great about these. Same thing with Halloween. I mean, think of all the Halloween movies, right?
uh,
So you have Michael Myers chasing after the same girl. Now, of course, there's a couple variations. One, Halloween 3 doesn't count because it's not even about Michael Myers.
hmm.
Halloween 4 and 5, well, yeah, 4 and 5 is not really about Jamie Lee Curtis at all, but it's about her lineage, it's about her family. So it's
Yeah,
still about her.
her.
And
Yeah,
then they were like, "All right, we have to bring her back." And then they had to restart all over again because they lost something in the middle, and I 100% believe that's actually true Jamie Lee Curtis.
okay.
100%.
I mean, I get where you're now. And so I have, I guess, two more little things just here, and then we can call it done with it. Now that she's not going to be in it, is it going to stop you from watching it?
It depends on the first 15 minutes of the movie. And I'll
So
tell
you
you why. I'm a
so you
huge
still
horror
give it
fan.
a chance,
Yeah, I'll still give it a chance because I love horror. And I want to
right?
see what they're trying to do. Was 5 a reboot for the franchise so they can continue with Sam and Tara?
Right. So here's the thing that I put in here as a note, and I said, and it's just I said most fans, not all, most fans will watch it even if she isn't in it. They'll complain all the way, oh, she's not in it, it's not as good. She's not in it, it's not as good. People are still going to pay. They're still going to make the. It might not be as big of a hit as 5, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near a flop that 4 was
No, I don't
because
think it'll
it
be a flop.
because because there's going to be people who will want to watch it for the simple fact of why isn't Nev in it
Yep.
if she isn't?
Yep. I mean, I think that part of 5 was gearing up for the next generation,
Hmm.
which is why you have Laurie's granddaughter in Halloween.
Right
That
now,
has a direct connection.
so one of those things where you told me before we had even watched 5, where it's, hey, you'll at least probably either figure out who the killer is or some unique things about it. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My seventh note in says 2 killers based on how they attack. Drank at bar, the drunk at the bar who ended up being Stu's brother was an easy kill, while the other 2 they didn't even kill; they just attacked them. Makes me feel like one person knows what they're doing, the other one doesn't.
Probably. I mean,
And
that girl was in the Psycho.
right, right. Well, like here's the other part where where did I put this? Where I was just like, oh, okay. I said, so this is a few notes. I'm like, they've made it way too obvious that there's now 2 killers, and with very few of the killings being coordinated. Just, hey, you're into this person, go kill his ghost face. Hey, you're also into this person, help kill me with as ghost face. Like none of the attacks seemed coordinated when they were happening.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the suspense of it now. Like, this person doesn't really know what they're doing, but they're still getting away with it, whether it's
Right,
the help from the first one or not.
right. And then I think the last thing, and it deals with the fact of they released this they released this one onto Paramount Plus, right? In the film, when Richie says, "Oh, I've never watched the Stab movies," and then's like, "Oh, I'm watching the Stab movies. I'm watching them on Netflix." And my first thought was, shouldn't don't you think like this new movie, instead of saying, "Oh, hey, I'm watching it on Netflix," shouldn't have they said, "Hey, I'm watching the Stab movie. It's on Paramount Plus," and just been promoting like their thing?
Do you think they would have gotten slack or, a lot of slack from doing that as a self promotional? I mean, you think about it. Jeff, do you pay for Paramount Plus?
No, I don't.
No, you don't. You borrowed mine. Um, do you pay for Netflix?
Not at the moment. No,
But do you have Netflix?
I'm using a shared account. Yes. But I'm just
Netflix
saying,
is one of the most popular streaming services there is.
right? But like that's the thing is, it's one of those kind of things where one of the big things where a lot of companies, are fighting over each other is, hey, we have this that you don't. So it's one of
So
those
why
where,
cause more anguish? Like Paramount Plus doesn't care.
well, no, I'm just saying like one of those like, hey, we have this fake movie that you guys don't have. Go us, kind of a, and also it's one of those. Why are you like? Yes, Netflix is the most popular one, if not the most popular. So why are you adding more fuel to that popularity?
Well, because no one's ever going to get rid of Netflix. Like, it's just not a thing. Like, everyone knows somebody who either A, pays for it or shares an account. Like, that's just how it is. Plus, Paramount Plus, I mean, yes, they do have some of the older movies, but where did you go to watch Scream 3?
Um, DVD from the video store back in the day.
Oh, okay. But now those older movies that you kind of forget about are mostly on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, or Hulu.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, that's true.
You guys tell us what you thought. Who do you think the next killer in the Scream franchise is going to be? Are you even going to watch Scream 6 because Nev Campbell's not in it? Let us know. Comment on our Facebook or on our YouTube or on Discord or however else you want to get at us.
And I hope you all enjoy some sandwiches. I don't matter. I don't care if you call it a hot dog sandwich, a quesadilla sandwich, a taco sandwich,
And
whatever,
Unwitch,
an unwich. Just to go enjoy a sandwich for me.
yeah, go eat some sandwiches. Go eat those Sammies.
Eat them Sammies.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Oh, I think next
Oh,
week we're going to switch to Thursdays.
yeah. Let's make that quick announcement. Just we've decided to, instead of having our show on at Wednesdays at 6, we're doing a small change, and they will now be on Thursdays at 6. Same
So look
time,
for us.
just different days. So if you come prowling around being on the normal, hey, I'm going to watch the guys on at Wednesday at 6. You're not going to be here. Just wait for us one more day, and we'll be on at Thursday at 6. And hopefully you'll
All right.
join us at that time.
All right, and we'll see you guys then.
Like, subscribe, all the fun things with that. Bye.
Bye.